Howdy AdWords fans and welcome back.
Let's talk about manual CPC bidding. Simple enough, manual CPC bidding, the objective is to fully maintain control over the bids in your auction. You don't want Google doing their thing, playing shtick, kind of figuring things out for you. This is what you're willing to pay for a click, and that's the end of it. It works very simply, right? Your default bid you set at the campaign level and the ad group level. You can also set individual bids at the keyword level after you create your campaign and your ad group, but your ad group's always going to have a default bid and your campaign's always going to have a default bid. And we'll talk more about default bids in a second when we go and set them inside of our account. Google will not bid more than your max in any circumstance. You could also add enhanced CPC at any time, and you could also change around to other bidding strategies. And this is our recommendation for the best place to start. Our clients are, in almost every case, started off with manual CPC bidding. It does not need conversion tracking to work. That's just something to keep in mind, but that's not why we choose to use manual CPC bidding. We feel that you get the best and most accurate data on what these clicks are costing and what the competitive landscape looks like. I want to know in no uncertain terms what the competition looks like, how much volume I can get for these keywords, and what kind of the raw cost of these keywords are. So that's why I would typically choose to start off with manual CPC bidding. It also gives you as the advertiser the most control, and by analyzing the data using manual CPC bidding, you're going to learn a lot about how these campaigns work, how the ad groups are performing, how keywords are performing, and you're going to be able to come away with deeper insights. So now that we've pretty much run through all the different bidding strategies in depth, and you have a very good fundamental understanding of them, let's jump back into our actual account and choose a bid strategy. And here we are back in our account, choosing our bid strategy. Like we saw, Google defaults to maximizing our clicks using that automation. Now that you have a much clearer understanding of what that is, this probably makes more sense. We would have the option to enable enhanced CPC in conjunction with maximize clicks, but we can't check this box now because conversion tracking isn't set up. If we wanted to set a maximum CPC bid limit, we could set that over here. You could toggle between these different automated bid strategies using this drop-down menu, and we're going to go over to manual CPC. And once again, we're not able to click enable enhanced CPC because conversion tracking isn't set up. So we're going to set a default bid of, let's say, $3. A lot of students ask, what is your default bid and how do you decide to set it at what you set it at? Those are great questions. The first answer is simple. The default bid is the bid that anything lower in the hierarchy is going to inherit unless you change it. So for example, the default bid for this campaign is $3. That means if I go tomorrow and I add 10 keywords to this campaign, they're all going to inherit that $3 max CPC bid. Yes, I have the option of changing those bids. I could lower or raise them at the keyword level, but if I don't, they will inherit the default max CPC bid of the ad group above them, and the ad groups will inherit the default max CPC bids of the campaigns above them. That's what the default bid concept is. The question is, how do you figure out what your default bid should be for a campaign? If this is a new account, there is no way. People might tell you, oh, you could do this sort of research, this sort of estimation. There is no way. The best way to ballpark it is to look at tools like the Google Keyword Planner, which we're going to get into in more detail, SEMrush, which we're going to get into in more detail. SpyFu is another one, which is a good one. And you could get a sense of what these clicks are costing, but ballpark it for now. And within the first few days, $3, $2, $5, these are all good options, unless you're in a super competitive industry if you're an attorney in personal law or you're in insurance. These bids cost upwards of $100 a click. We had a personal injury attorney client whose clicks were costing $178 each for every click. How incredible is that? We also have clients whose clicks are 6 cents a click, right? So there's a massive range. But the average seems to be in that $280 to $350 range, and that's aggregate across millions of clicks that we've analyzed and that other industry experts have released from their own manager accounts. Your daily budget is very straightforward. How much do you want to spend a day? AdWords doesn't work by setting monthly budgets. You always set daily budgets. So say, for example, we're going to set our daily budget of $100 a day, right? That's going to be roughly $3,000 a month, a nice starting budget. Obviously, your budget is totally dependent on you and on your marketing goals and what you could afford. The one thing to realize is that there's no guarantee that you're going to spend that $100 per day. The only time you owe Google money is when your ads get clicked. If you set a daily budget of $10,000 and only $35 worth of and you only receive $35 worth of ad clicks, you're only going to get charged $35. And no, there's no rollover. That doesn't mean that the $900 you didn't spend is now going to create a $1,900 daily budget for day 2. There's no rollover. It's $100 a day, whatever you set it as a day, and you might not spend all of that money. If your campaign is targeting a lot of high-level keywords and you're spending the $100 every day, you could expect to spend 10 to 15% more than your daily budget. That's a very common occurrence, and Google has these disclaimers. It's called overcharge, overages, overspending. There's a certain amount of normal overspending where there's billions of search terms every day, and there's a certain level of time delay between Google seeing how much you've spent and people searching Google for things that are triggering your ad. So that small time delay could cause your daily budget to go over your daily budget, but it's usually not more than 10 to 15%. Rarely is it more than that. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about delivery method and an intro to ad extensions. You guys really developed a very, very strong knowledge on bidding strategies. I think you have the fundamental understanding to now intellectually figure out and determine how you want to bid, what strategy makes sense for your business. And I think you understand in a more sophisticated way how these different bidding strategies might benefit different types of scenarios. So as a quick exercise, I want you to think about what bidding strategy makes the most sense for your business, right? Simple enough, but here's where it gets exciting. Get a little creative. Come up with a scenario, whether it be your company hires a lot of new people, or the marketing budget gets cut, or there's a political phenomenon, or there's a natural disaster, or there's a new competitor that enters the market, whatever it may be. Draw up a scenario that would get you to change your bidding strategy to a different bidding strategy. Write down what that new bidding strategy would be and why you changed to it. I think that's a very, very good exercise to help you understand how these bidding strategies work and what's best for your business. So we've made it. We got through all the bidding strategies. That's going to be it for now. You're due for another break, and I will see you guys very soon in the next lecture where we talk about delivery method.